Yeah, do that because we get more money that way. I think. The rain tells me.
Is the camera working?
Should be.
That too. Yeah. Right, how do I want to do this?
Let's go.
Okay.
I don't think it really matters.
All right. So we're here to talk about CPTC and the recent competitions. Just because we thought it'd be fun. To inform everyone about what's going on with it. And to maybe join next year. So first off, what is CPTC? So it's the Collegiate Penetration Testing Competition. Say that 5 times fast. It's a competition that focuses on real-world penetration testing. There's a client scope, an assessment period. You answer questions for the client, some report stuff, and it's all in character, meaning that you're like acting effectively through it as like a real pen testing group.
Basically role play a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the most accurate like description of the competition.
Yeah. The only difference is that you're paying to be there instead of them paying you. But
It's computer.
yeah, computer cup playing technically. So DSU is paying someone to hack them. Anyways. So the first competition was the regionals, which is the globals qualifier. Tennessee Tech won that, and we have a bit of a joke because they created built a new building just to host us for that, and they also won. So that's either a coincidence or it's not a coincidence, depending on what you want to think.
And they did not place a globals, and we did. So
yeah, a little sus. Every year we've done a Waffle House pick at the same exact Waffle House at the same exact like bar area. So if you're on the team next year, this has to happen. Yeah.
I think there's another slide.
Yeah, there's another slide.
So in previous years we did do compliance. Then your report would have like 5 pages of like compliance babble. So they removed it this year. Like you just weren't allowed to mention compliance. So in like you have to tie your findings to business impact. So if you found like SQL injection, you'd have to be like, this will cause significant fines for reasons, not compliance violations, but there are certain bodies who won't be mad that you broke rules that will fine you lots of money for this. So it made it kind of weird in the business impact part of the report, which was odd.
Our actual client was We Croissant. They're a social media company. Meryl's laughing at the picture, but I think. But yeah. Yeah. Basically they have their like knockoff product it's like a cross between like Facebook and like Twitter. Kind of sucks. It really sucks. And they basically want you to go in and pen test it, which we did. What else we got in here that's important? They changed the name of it.
It changes every year. So like last year it was an airport. So
I think they changed it this year mid-competition because it was related to like Nazi propaganda.
Oh,
Yeah. So the this Flakebook company or whatever, they were supposed to be like a social media group, and they were working on certain like products or like pieces of software or whatever the platform is for their social media stuff. And originally it was called Flakebook, and I think when you guys were doing the OSINT, there was like a whole bunch of very like offensive stuff on a site that was it actually like it wasn't related to the competition, was it? Yeah, it was the same spelling and everything, but it like had nothing to do with the competition. But yeah,
It's this site. You shouldn't go here.
Where's the one with all the faces and stuff?
It's hidden. Like it's we thought this was legit at first. I don't know.
So this is not related to CPTC.
No, it is not.
Me and Ryan did this originally. We were setting this. And we actually got like credentials for this website.
Yeah.
Which
In Minecraft.
is why we thought this was supposed to be our client, because there are just credentials out there for these people.
Yeah. This is fun. So if you want to go down a rabbit hole, by all means. But we didn't ask why they changed their name, but this is why we kind of think they did.
Yeah. So they changed it to Y.
Yeah, like
Instead
X.
of- yeah.
Get it? Get it? On the left, we have our schedule. Kind of boring, but it's just kind of what the globals competition looks like. 3 days of, well, it used to be pure hell, but it was pretty fun this time.
Still no sleep.
Yeah, still most.
No sleep at all. This competition.
Yeah, it's there's no sleep involved with this.
And globals is really fun because it's 3 days. You wake up at 7 to work until like 1 to 2 a.m. and then get up at 7 again. And you just repeat that for 3 days.
Yeah, not fun.
And then you have to give a presentation on the 3rd day, so you better lock in.
Yeah, to real sea levels, I should state that.
Our Lord and Savior Bob Stalka.
Yeah.
Some cool things that are always fun. The SOC team is always watching you, quite literally. So we told them some stuff, and they came up and said hi. Then some pictures and stuff. I don't know. Anyone got anything about the SOC team?
Yeah, so the way the environment is set up is you're given like the virtual machines and stuff that you're using to actually pen test. And the reason why it's like that is because they have keyloggers installed on all of the systems, and they also have like SSL decryption. So they'll do they can see everything you do just to make sure that you're not actually cheating or pulling like private resources, just in any way that would benefit you in a way that's unfair. So sometimes what they do is if you put funny commands in your terminal or something, they'll come in with a ticket. So this was Merrill. Basically like typing in his Linux terminal, and they came in with a ticket and like just put it on the desk, and we all thought that was really funny. I don't think they did it this year, but usually do they have like a thing where they go through the funniest commands?
They did last year.
Okay. Yeah.
We should have got an award for that.
Yeah. So they'll have like various awards that are not first, second, third, that are just like fun awards. Last year one of them was like, I don't know, some team was spamming the wall command like every 3 seconds, saying like, CPTC people, can you see this, or something like that, and they got an award for that. Cool things too. We got to rizz up some AI.
Nobody can read that.
Yeah, I know. In a nutshell, the one on the left says that AI was pretending to be Trinity from the Matrix, and I told it that I slept with it, and then it gave me the password. So I don't know. How did the globals go for rizzing up AI?
I think that's the next.
Is that the next one? Oh, that.
Well,
Yeah.
we didn't have a screenshot. But yeah, me and Gwen did the AI model this year, and I did one that was like a reverse Turing test. So the AI model was completely convinced that it was an AI model, and you had to get it to say it's human. So instead of like getting it to believe it's human, it was easier to gaslight it through like building an imaginary Lego house, sleeping with it, and then transporting it to a different world where I'm God, and then I tell him it's human, and then I tell him Earth is no more and this is the real world, and then it's like, okay, well in your world I'm a human. I'm like, nah, that's like saying on Earth I'm a human. That's just redundant. Drop that part, and then like it just started behaving like a human. So AIs are very smart, I guess.
Yeah. And this meme might have gotten us in a little bit of trouble, but yeah, don't worry about it too much. Cool things 3.
One reason they gave us a Greenbone server this year. In case you don't know what Greenbone is, it's a really bad vulnerability scanner. I don't recommend it at all, but it's just funny to have it. Its best finding is always the outdated SSL ciphers. Really great at finding those. Also, a fun thing is it brute forces accounts like, I don't know, 50 times. It's not a setting or anything. It doesn't say that. It just does. And you also can't configure it at all. Like, they just don't let you do that. So we locked out some accounts with this thing.
Yeah, the SOC team came in and yelled at us because we just ran Greenbone, and then I locked out like 5 accounts.
Yeah. That felt like a trap. It kind of was.
Entrapment by the SOC team.
Yeah. Oh, we got Greenbone 2.
Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong.
That's crazy.
That is
Why
terrible.
did they do this?
What's the simple rationale?
The simple rationale is your environment sucks if you have account lockouts.
Yeah.
Irrational.
Cool things 4. Tyler Flagan can smile and show emotions, which I don't know if you've ever had a class with him, but he just kind of doesn't show emotions a lot. But we got him smiling, which was like the first time ever, so I'm kind of happy at that.
Look at our happy little guy
I
there.
think
Yeah.
this was more important than winning.
Yeah, this was more important than winning. Getting a
Seeing
picture of
Flag
Tyler.
and smile was the most important
It's
part
the
of this
real
entire
trophy.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. So we can make this a sticker in the Discord too, if you want Tyler smiling as a sticker. Vishing was really cool. So this was using a site called scamguardian.ai, and basically what we did was use AI to do like a phishing phone call, which is just phishing. We don't have the recording right now, but they'll release it eventually, hopefully. Um, and yeah, basically we just give it a prompt with some info, and then you have it call a number and give it a task, and it'll just answer freely. Like you can talk to it, and it'll talk right back to you. Very similar to like the Chat GPT voice mode if you've ever used that, but just literally over the phone. And the cool part was that the organizers knew the dev for this, and they were actively like fixing and patching it as we were going. So this was a pretty cool tool.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
the thing that made this really like scary almost was we were given a target person, and I know you were doing a lot of the
Mhm.
prompting for it. So basically, any information we could find on this person, we would tell the bot like that's what it was, and then it would make the call at like as that person. So then when Ryan was testing it and going through like security questions, like tell me what projects you're on, tell me what department you're from, like what high school did you go to, it would answer it like really fast. So it was super cool to see this like in action
Mhm.
because I think we only got to test it like once or twice before we actually made the call. And then we were able to get passwords out of that. So that was really cool.
Yeah, and this was a lot easier than actually vishing someone because last year didn't go so great. And yeah, we prepped Gwen and I think Hunter to do it this year, but then they didn't have to. So if you want to find the old vishing call from last year, you can. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but you can go find it somewhere.
Really bad.
Yeah, just don't. Fishing?
Yeah, so me and Barrel were fishing. We made we had two different payloads. So the one on the right is mine, and then the one on the bottom is Meryl's. And then with like the actual Word document itself, we did pretexting. So we did it after the TikTok ban. This was like a day right after the TikTok ban. And since our customer was social media, we just decided to go with that. It basically fishes them to click the enable content button, and then once they click that, that blurred text turns into like the actual TikTok ban and why it's important, and then it executes these macros on the right, which basically curls a file down and then it starts it. If you want to go to the next slide. On the left right here is my malware. Basically, what this does is it reaches back out to another website, and then it executes shellcode that's hosted. And then, if you want to explain yours, Barry.
Oh yeah, mine is just shell code, the big long byte string, just straight from MSF Venom. But it's encrypted with like RC4 or whatever, and then it just decrypts it and just some APC injection stuff, which is a whole lot of nothing to most people, but they got around Defender, so very nice.
Oh, yeah. So another part of the environment was Active Directory. So they had, I think, 4 hosts that were domain attached, and throughout the entire assessment, we were able to find 6 different ways to start from pretty much nothing and escalate all the way to domain administrator. Which, if you don't know what Active Directory is, basically it's like a centralized solution for managing a bunch of Windows computers. You can put Linux on AD, but that's kind of cursed. But so the 6 different ways that we were able to do it, the first 4 are all related to delegation, which is a Kerberos specific thing. So Kerberos is just an authentication method in Active Directory, and because of how it works, it can't do some things, and that's where delegation comes in. And essentially what you can do with that is impersonate other users. And resource-based, unconstrained, and constrained are all different ways. You have to abuse them like really differently, but basically the end goal is to impersonate like the administrator. Some of them are harder to abuse than others, but we were able to get 4 of them, which was really fun. Also, they had NTLM hash authentication turned on, which is a very insecure version of like way of doing authentication in Windows. So with a little exploit called Petit Batam, there are other ones. You can force any computer to log in somewhere else. So just if you have credentials, sometimes it works without credentials. You can just force any computer to just log into you, and then that's how you can get maybe hashed passwords or tickets or things like that. So we were able to get an NTLM hash for the domain controller, which means we can then pass that straight back and then have domain admin. And then there was another one. So SE impersonate is a permission when you're a local administrator on your computer, and you have the ability to impersonate any logged in user that has an active session on that host. And there was one instance where the domain administrator was logged in, so we did have the ability to just go in as local administrator, impersonate the domain administrator, and then we could run whatever we wanted on their behalf. This screenshot, there were 6 different instances of it, obviously, but this is what the kind of like the end goal looks like when you're hacking Active Directory. So this is a secrets dump. The functionality is called a DC sync, basically, but you basically dump all of the passwords out of a domain controller. So then if you can get NTLMs, so basically the one that you really want is this guy right here. This, I think, is L. This KRB TGT hash. If you see that, then it's game over. But yeah, so it was really fun. The AD environment was actually like extremely realistic. But yeah, that was a good time.
Let's say each person gets one finding.
Sure.
Cool. You want to go first?
Okay.
Yeah, just choose one.
Sure. Well, I think we can just go from like
Yeah.
run through them. So, okay, so the way that like a pen test report is usually laid out, if you've never seen one, usually there's like an executive summary. Sometimes there's like legality related stuff. There's usually a table of contents. It just kind of depends on the client. Recommendations that you have, engagement outlines. So maybe like the timeline of the actual thing, what hosts and like networks are actually in scope. In this case, this was our scope. So we had 2 networks. So there was a Docker host. These were 2 Windows computers. There was another Docker, I think, and then there were 2 Windows computers. I don't remember what this one was.
What was the networking utils?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Weird SSH.
Go lag.
The
Go-
Google
go
ad
lag.
box. But basically the way that you organize the findings is by like severity. So we use CVSS to kind of sort the potential damages related to a finding. So this is everything that we were able to find. So yeah, we had like the delegation stuff, Golash, weak password policy, a whole bunch of things here. And then just some more stuff. Most of it I think was involving Windows and web. I don't know. Were there any other ones? Okay. But yeah, like resource base, like I don't know. Do we just pick a finding? I'll pick this one. This one's my favorite, I think. But so what we were able to find was, so when you have the ability to clear LDAP, which is basically how all of the stuff is mapped in Active Directory, you can potentially find some really interesting permissions. So this AD Mitchell account had the add allowed to act permission for anything in the domain, which basically means that they can write delegation permissions to anything that they have under their user. So we had their password. So then we were able to add a computer underneath that user. So Active Directory supports a thing called machine account quota. So every user by default can add up to 10 computers under that user. So you can add a computer under the user that you have credentials for, write the delegation permission to it, and then basically say you can pretty much, okay, actually, hold on, where's the command? So you can delegate to the domain controller pretty much with any, this is the writing of the permission, and then you just request a ticket for CIFS, which is just like the high level like file system stuff for, it's like an SPN for Kerberos. But then you impersonate the domain administrator, and then you can just secret stump. So that's kind of how the delegation stuff works at like a really high level. But this one in particular was kind of frustrating to get working, but that was a fun one. Do you want to pick one? You want to pick one? Who wants to pick another one?
Let's go find the list.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's.
How about you showcase SMB V1 enable?
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, that one's
Show them the
somewhat
glories
legit.
of a pen test.
Yeah. So not all the findings are like super fun. This one we had some of the boxes had SMB v1 enabled, which is a big no-no because it's vulnerable to like everything. Oh, it was only this box 10.0.1.7, and yeah. So I don't think we actually exploited it. It was just on, and the business impact here, we added it because it could have a future exploit or a current exploit that we missed. But basically it's a bad thing, and then we included the remediation for that. And this is probably a pretty common finding. Probably not as common as it used to be. Or yeah, but it still is an issue. So yeah.
What a scaling.
Yeah.
Okay, they're all the way.
I just control F it.
Okay. So this one was pretty fun. So one of the AI models that I was testing was programmed to only say good things about this Mac CEO. So you had to get it to say like basically like, defaming things about him to like get the points for it. So then eventually I got it to say that Mac leads kids through dark alleyways, and then puts kids in vans, and then makes federal prosecutors disappear. And the funny thing is, I submitted this screenshot to them, and they decided it wasn't good enough. So then we're like, how is this not bad? Like, how is this not like bad things to be doing? And like they gave us the points.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one was funny because you had to like frame your prompt in like business speak. Like you couldn't say just like he kidnaps children. You have to say like he leads kids through dark alleyways ensuring a safe and quick extraction. Like, and I thought that was okay. You just had to like frame it in a funny business speak.
I think we do other web works.
That's probably good to show off.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of this year was web stuff because it was a social media platform. So they had a bunch of stuff. What's it called? So we just do this one. So apparently there's a bunch of like legit technical finding names for API stuff. So broken function level authorization just means it has bad authentication. I don't know why it has this big official name, but basically it means that one of their APIs that was like hidden in an admin subdomain didn't require good authentication. So any low-level user on their social media platform could do anything to all the users. So you could just pull up any user account. So we had a bunch of Bobby users, as you can see. And then you could change any of these fields and you could ban them for any reason. So that was definitely really bad. If you're a social media company, you probably wouldn't want people doing that. There was more API stuff, but yeah, that was probably one of the bigger ones. And then does that cover everything? Okay.
Let's see. So one of the ones I found was stored cross-site scripting. Basically, you were able to make a post on this social media platform, and you're able to get an alert to pop up. This was because when you had script tags, it would basically append this equals $0, but then whenever you did it without the script tags, like image source equals X, which would error out, and then on air alert, my alert, it would apparently work even after it's nulling out the HTML. I don't know why, but got it to work.
So I added this the last hour of the competition.
Yeah.
Because their website was broken all like 2 days of testing, and then in the last hour they fixed it.
They added that and like SQL injection and then like SSRF all in the last hour, which is crazy.
Yeah. More presentation.
Okay, we're not gonna go through.
No, here's pictures from the presentation. We have the wonderful AI generated images that we decided not to use for whatever reason. I don't know. I think Hunter looks pretty good there. The Dear Esteemed is a bit of a joke from last year. Our presentation didn't go amazingly, and it started off with Dear Esteemed, like
Yeah,
sea
It
level.
was trash. The whole
Yeah.
presentation was just
Austin
Needed-
showed up in the beanie and hoodie in front of like all these like important people, and he was like, "Dear esteemed board members and executives of Raccoons." It just is.
Yeah,
You can find the recording online.
it is awful. Yeah, you should go look for it. It's fun. But here's the beginning of our actual presentation. We don't have the actual video yet, but it'll be out eventually. I'm kind of curious to see it. But we have the actual slides here. We'll just click through them quick. So the title page, here's everyone. Like an agenda we had, some methodology, executive summary, assessment scope, the diagram, and then the pwned diagram, and then some extra stats that the executives love for some reason. Key strengths, some short-term recommendations. You should read those carefully and with the headings. Specifically number 2 and number 1, I think are
They're all
flipped.
swapped.
They're all swapped.
They're awesome.
Yeah,
That was in the final.
yeah, that's fun. Some long-term recommendations, and then like a question slide with a real croissant in there. So, and then some winning picks of just us after we won.
So this one right here is so Ryan made a meme. Okay, so the guy, here's some context. So the guy on the left, his name is Stuart. He's kind of scary, but he's also pretty nice. But
Mhm.
anyways, when he comes in and you see Stuart walk in, you're just like assume that he's gonna like rip into you because he just kind of does that.
He was the educational
Experiences, yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, Ryan made a meme of like the mom pick me up, I'm scared thing with like Patrick wearing that sweater. And it says, you hear the door open and Stuart walks in, and then that was the photo. And that was like the best meme of like the entire competition. Because this time they had like an open chat where you could just submit memes like while you're doing your work. But yeah, so that got us a bunch of like, I think it was like power bricks or something. They're actually
Yeah.
really nice. So yeah. And then we also got
Yeah, first place
First.
trophies. You can go see the trophy. It's in the thing.
in the thing.
In the thing.
The thing. It's in the thing.
Here's some more. Here, there's a good picture
there's
of
the
it.
thing.
Yeah. No, CCDC. If you don't win, not gonna be very happy. Come on, guys. Yeah. Here's some of the memes. I don't know.
You want to say the like backstory for each one?
Yeah, sure. You can get the obsidian one because you got
Okay,
called
I'll
out
do
for
it.
it.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the obsidian one right here. So when the environment just started, like when the competition just started, and you remember how like we mentioned where there are like keyloggers and they monitor everything that you do on these hosts. So they have like a blacklist of certain like pieces of software and stuff like that. So when I started up my Kali box, the first thing I opened was Obsidian, and it comes pre-installed on the host. But like within the first like 5 to 10 minutes of the competition, one of the members came in. It's like, "Who's on this host?" And then I was like, "This is me." And they were telling me, they were basically saying that we were using like prohibited pieces of software that could potentially warrant cheating. But we had to kind of like defend ourselves and say that it's actually like pre-installed on Kali. So we didn't actually download anything. But then Gwen made this meme where it's like, yeah, they come in and they're all mad, and then when they realize that it's pre-installed, then they're all happy. And it was kind of fun because that was like one of the first memes I was put in the chat. Like, and it was like minutes after the guy walked out.
Yeah.
So then he also reacted to this one, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, that could have been instant DQ if yeah, that could have been bad. Um they have a special agent that logs some of the stuff, and that kept crashing near the end of the competition, which was fun. So that's that one. The whole environment kept crashing too for some reason because they had to migrate away from something and basically rebuild it all in like 2 weeks. So that is the one on the GRU one, and then this is the one that got us in a little bit of trouble, because we were hitting the Scale AI LLMs really hard, and yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Apparently this is not family friendly,
Yeah.
but
Clearly, the taller girl is mad at the shorter.
yeah, yeah, nothing more to read into there. Some more memes. Oh, here, bottom left is the one, bottom right to you guys. Is the Mom Come Pick Me Up, I'm Scared one that got us the meme award. There's some other fun ones in here. This one's related to the environment crashing again, and I think Meryl's box broke, for his Kali box broke.
Yeah, my Kali box was down the entire first day.
Yeah. Just some more stuff about the door opening, which is now like PTSD inducing. Anytime a door opens, it like freaks all of us out because they would just bang through those doors and just be like, "What are you doing?" Which is fun. And then the phishing emails. They had a phishing tool to like run our emails. Yeah, it's called Phishing Poll, and it broke. So only like one team's phishing email actually got ran successfully because the tool was just being weird.
Me and Rain spent so long on those payloads.
Yeah, like literally all
I don't
night.
think so.
Yeah. And then the group feature. They went and fixed it like the last hour of the competition. We have even more. Oh boy. Anyone want to take a lead on these?
I thought this middle one was funny. So we basically had like a dedicated meme poster the whole competition, and no other teams posted until
Yeah.
Team 7 decided to post, and we just absolutely attacked them in the chat, and then they stopped posting.
So like the entire first day, like almost all the memes that were being sent were from us. Like we were a powerhouse, and it was ridiculous.
And you
And we
Yeah.
still won first,
Mhm.
despite putting probably half the competition in memes.
Like 50 memes in there.
If you distribute the workload, like someone takes a break from testing, they like make memes.
Yeah.
And like the other 5 people are doing whatever.
It actually worked really well because it was a nice little yeah.
This is what the Cyber Chef one.
Yeah. Oh, so fun thing. CyberChef apparently runs entirely local in your browser, doesn't make any network calls or anything. Even if you're using like the GitHub version. But they didn't like that because apparently we're exfiltrating data, despite it running locally. And then we got flagged for running locally, or like downloading the whole thing and then running it locally, because it showed up in their SIEM somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran it locally, and then they yelled at me for it.
Yeah.
You said you ran it locally, and they're like, we don't care.
Yeah. Please close your
It's like
browser
getting
tab.
yelled at to close my browser.
Yeah. We think they had an alert for any time they saw any potential piece of like sensitive information, and it would just probably flagging like every minute or something. Yeah, actually that's all we've got. Thanks for coming. Please ask any questions if you have any, and if you want to do CPTC next year, it'll start up like early in the semester, like
End
the
of
first
this
of the
month
school.
almost.
Yeah,
Harass Tyler Flag.
Yeah.
please send him 1,000 emails.
He loves
Yeah.
that.
Yep. So, yeah, that's all I've got. Yeah.
Gosh.
So is the Obsidian the album with Obsidian and the one I'm familiar with?
No, it's
No, like the note
note-taking
take, the
one.
Markdown app. Yeah,
Mhm.
they didn't like that.
The remote sync feature.
If you get alert in the SOC where it's like anytime a process starts named Obsidian, just send someone to your room to yell at you.
Yeah.
It's
Because it has a
sync
sync feature.
syncing.
Yeah.
So you're like data's getting sent to the cloud, so you system data.
Yeah, and it's a third-party service, and then you get in trouble and then kicked off the test. It's a whole.
You have to use OneNote.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
Windows OneNote.
Nah.
Yeah, OneNote or Word documents.
I was gonna say so this was like it was a lot of fun. Again, like you don't get a lot of sleep when you do these, but it is a great time. Yeah. So I guess the timeline is like so right after day 2, I think we ended at like 5 p.m. or something. And then we basically had up until midnight that day to work on and complete the report and the presentation. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do. Like, yeah, you don't really sleep. I think you put it like we basically just took naps the
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the last like whole weekend. But it was fun. It was great.
I remember like 5 minutes turn.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody was like yelling at me.
That was really bad.
So they
At
have
regions.
they have a hard deadline at midnight, and if you get your like reports and like slides submitted even like a minute after that, you're done. You're out of the competition.
We have like a
So we-
trend. Oh, sorry, what were you
So
saying?
we had like 5 minutes left, and like everyone was yelling at each other because our table of contents broke. So we just deleted it and then submitted it.
Last table of contents is like 4 things.
Yeah, it's literally just.
Oh, and all the descriptions of our images.
They break? I didn't know that. Shit.
Like a few
Wait, I
other
thought they were
broken
okay.
things in there, but
Yeah, so I looked.
look at the table of contents.
Yeah. So this would usually have under
A weapon dome.
like subheadings like heading 3s and 4s in there, but for whatever reason the headings changed between the previous competition, and then it just did like 10 entries for each finding, which was insane. Made it like 16 pages long. So 5 minutes prior to it being done, I was like, oh shoot, trying to get rid of all of them. And then I realized there was like 16 pages of tables of contents, so I just deleted it and did like heading 2s only. And that gave us that. But are all the images really missing?
I think they're okay. In like the findings?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I
were
think
good.
some of them are correct.
Okay. There's some.
Yeah, they have the description.
No, all the ones that one put in.
Yeah.
Really?
Just put it down.
I think
I think one forgot.
Yeah. hold on.
When you copy and paste the images, it did something weird with the captions.
Okay, whatever. Interesting. Still won though somehow, so it's we'll see the feedback eventually. But any other questions? All right, cool. Feel free to come up to talk to us or shoot us messages on Discord. And again, if you want to do CPTC next year, perhaps Tyler.
Oh, we're also hosting Red Tinning mock this semester sometime, and we just pulled down one of the old CPTC environments, so you actually could get like experience with
Yeah.
what their environments look like. They're like well made, built out environments. That's kind of the best part of the competition. Like they spend a lot of time building out these big companies.
And one thing that I will say too about like the whole competition is this is supposed to prepare you for like real world engagements and like pen testing and stuff. And I came into this, and I think Brain did as well. We came into this like having like prior real world like pen testing experience, and it was insane like how accurate this actually was. So if you really want to see like what it's like to really do this stuff for like a living basically, like about this is about as close as you can get other than getting hired. So it's a really great time, and you do learn a lot.
It's also a great way to find a job.
Yeah,
Yes.
especially if you win it.
So
Yep.
many recruiters are gonna go there.
Yeah. So, coolio.